Wearing the shirt, swing and a miss, because I was wrong. We will get into that in a minute. We're going to talk about a very interesting and important call from Pantheon Macroeconomics. We're going to talk about mortgage demand, and yes, we will even talk about 3 steps to get wealthy. Let's get into it, folks. This is May 10th, and this is your daily financial news, folks. We have to talk about CPI. CPI headline, CPI core, CPI, of course, being Consumer Price Index. Think of this as the prices you and I pay at the store, generally speaking, right? This is the most often quoted CPI or inflation metric. And again, I was wrong. Let me set up the numbers. We have headline, and then we have core, core being X food, X energy. I was most concerned about headline this month. In previous months, I had been concerned about core. Again, why was I concerned about headline? I was concerned about headline because last month, or now 2 months ago, it was 6%. Last month, it was 5%. It was expected to come in at 5% this morning. My fear, understanding the mechanics behind the headline number, was we could get a shock to the high side. I expected 5.2 to perhaps even as high as 5.3%. I was wrong. I missed it. And I have never been so grateful to be wrong. Headline number came in actually 4.9. 4.9%, folks. The 10-month drop is continuing. And I believe the next 4 months, are going to be rather easy for the Federal Reserve and Jerome Powell. I once again do not believe we will have a rate increase. In fact, I believe the number this morning takes that off the table. Nor do I think we will have a rate decrease, but again, that will be left open for debate. So again, core or headline came in at 4.9% on the year-on-year number. The month-on-month number came in as expected at 0.4. Core, really still the problem. Last month, 5.5, expected 5.5, came in at 5.5. What's important about core is roughly 60% of core inflation is still housing related. And again, if you follow this channel, you know that housing won't really start to roll over meaningfully. Now, it's housing inflation, owner's equivalent rent, things of that nature. So when I say housing rollover, I mean the inflation impact of housing. Because again, just how it is calculated on a rolling 12 months. Think about a roller coaster of 12 cars going over the hill. It doesn't matter if the first month, it matters when you get most of them over. You really start picking up speed. So again, I am very encouraged. This was the number that I think Jerome Powell was scared. Right? If this number came in at 5.2 or 5.3 as I expected, he would have a month of just gnashing of teeth. Now that we got 4.9, no June rate increase, again, as we have been calling on this channel. So why do I think the next 4 months will be easier for the Fed? Well, again, the next 2 months, as you've seen in our Sunday conversations with Dan Bird, are large base effects. In fact, June, the month of June has the largest base effect of this entire period at 1.2%. That will roll off and we will get something like 0.3, 0.4, which will have a pretty significant impact to the downside. So I expect the next 2 months to take us what now is 4.9 to the low 4s and possibly the high 3s. Wouldn't that be nice to see? Then the following 2 months. So we get 2 months of good base effect. The next 2 months, we will finally start seeing housing report numbers that don't jump inflation. So in the next 4 months, we could be in the low 3s. That will be good news. That could be the soft landing. we will obviously need to watch the employment market. But again, I was very concerned about this month, so much so that I'm wearing this embarrassing shirt because I was wrong. Actually, I don't think it's embarrassing. I like owning my mistakes. I think it's good for content creators to own their mistakes versus deleting videos like so many others. But yes, net, today was a great number. I think you will start to see mortgage rates come down. Why is that? As we reported yesterday, the spread between the 10-year and the 30-year mortgage rate was 313 basis points. Might have got as high as 315 basis points yesterday. Now that the banks, financial institutions, will strongly believe we are at the terminal rate, now they are going to start competing, and you will see that mortgage demand or that spread collapse. It won't be quick. It won't be fast. But this is how we get to sub 6% this year. So again, I think this number is amazing. I was very nervous about this number because I think it could have been that one outlier that just messes things up. The next 4 months, the next 2 will probably get us to the low 4s. The next 4 could get us to the mid or even low 3s if housing rolls off. So all I got to say is the Fed is winning. We will have real rates over 2% if I'm right? If we get inflation at 3 and terminal rates 5, we'll have real rates of 2%. So again, this was the one, and we got past it. So I think the next 4 months are pretty good. So I was wrong. I wrote that on there. A lot of people like to see when, admit when I'm wrong. There you go. I was wrong. Pantheon Macroeconomics. This was actually a paper that I read yesterday before the CPI report, so I think it's even more relevant now. Pantheon Macroeconomics, and let me make sure I get the chief economist's name. 1 second. His name, chief economist Ian, I'm going to say Shepherdson. Ian Shepherdson, chief economist at Pantheon Macroeconomics. He thinks inflation will be sub 2% by mid-2024. That's about 1 year from today. That is as of yesterday, I thought that was a ballsy call. This morning, I'm like, the trend is your friend. I do think the next 4 months come your way. If we continue to see housing come off into next year, that is possible. I would not say it's probable. I would not tell you it's my base case. But as of this morning, it's not a crazy idea. It could happen. It could happen. Again, not a call, not my base case, not probable. But again, that article or that research paper took on new meaning this morning after CPI headline came in at 4.9%. So shout out Ian for making a bold call. I respect it when people make calls. So great work, Ian. Mortgage demand. I don't know if you've seen this, but mortgage demand, let me make sure I get it right. Yep, mortgage demand was up this week. Again, this number comes to us every Wednesday. It was up week on week. Interestingly enough, refi demand was up 10%. If we get a collapse in interest rates to sub 6%, we could see that refi demand kick in. Purchase demand, probably more important, was up 5%. Can you imagine if rates come down 6% on 30-year mortgages, and you and I both know what happens at 6%? I cannot imagine. First and foremost, no supply. Second, demand comes screaming off the sidelines. The housing market is broken. It will be broken for years to come. But yeah, it's tough out there, especially for the first-time home buyer, the one rental at a time investor. We are all fighting over the same inventory, and there just isn't much inventory out there. So mortgage demand up. Stanley Druckenmiller. Stanley Druckenmiller, somebody I respect. He's a wonderful macro investor, macroeconomist, macro investor. He sees four things coming. Stan Druckenmiller sees one, a hard landing. Not this soft landing, a hard landing. 2, unemployment going over 5%. Now remember, as of last week, unemployment is 3.4%. So unemployment going over 5% is meaningful. Corporate profits to continue their earnings plunge of at least 20%. And finally, of course, more bankruptcies. First and foremost, we are going to have more bankruptcies. It is part of the Fed breaking, the Fed put, we can't bail out, billionaires or private equity or whatever it is. If you are a bad business that survived on debt the last 2 years, you are supposed to go bankrupt. Think Bed Bath & Beyond, things like that nature. Bankruptcies are healthy. They cleanse the system. They are poor allocators of capital. So I encourage, bankruptcies aren't bad. They're actually a part of the process. So that was interesting. And then I want to talk about 3 steps to get wealthy. I believe there are 3 very simple steps to get wealthy. I want you to leave feedback below. What is your favorite one? What is one we need more work on? This is something I am working on because I want more people to understand getting wealthy is a process. So step 1, you must create dry powder. Dry powder is disposable income. It is income that you can save and invest and you can stack month after month after month. Now, in order to create disposable income or dry powder, you can do one of 2 things. You can do what Michael and Olivia did, whack expenses to the bone. We cut expenses over a year period from spending 100% to spending 50% of income. So every month, because of sacrifice and choices, we were stacking half our income. 2, you can increase your income. Casey from Brick by Brick, who comes on every Monday, I believe, she created an Etsy store to sell goods, to create down payment money. Dion from Dion Talk created or sold video game tchotchkes or whatever that stuff is inside video games. You could house hack like Anna Kelly, Mike, Dion, Lumberjack. It's all possible. But regardless of what you do, step 1 of getting wealthy is create dry powder. And if you want to increase income and decrease expenses, by all means, go nuts. Step 2, you must become elite at something. Now, I chose single-family rentals in my buy box of Fresno, California. I am not here to tell you you have to do real estate. If you want to be an elite value investor like Warren Buffett, go for it. If you want to become a great crypto trader, go for it. If you want to trade baseball cards, wine, classic cars, I don't care what it is, but go get elite. Stop looking at lots of things. You have that much time, so use it on becoming elite at one thing. Now, I obviously believe income real estate, cash flow day one, 30-year fixed rate debt is an obvious choice, but it doesn't have to be. You go pick your thing, right? Step 1, dry powder. Create dry powder. Step 2, become elite. Step 3, time. I believe if you execute all 3 of these things, you can become wealthy in 10 years. If you do real estate, for the example, at 10 years, you can A, have the income snowball, right? Fixed rate debt, rent increases, save money, retire and live a life like Dion on 16 units. 2, you could choose to recycle capital, have none of your own capital in a massive portfolio like Matt or I. You have choices. Getting wealthy is a simple process that most people don't understand. Create dry powder. I don't care if you cut expenses or increase income or both. 2, become elite. Stop looking at lots of things. Go find your thing. And then 3, do it for a decade. That's it. Let me know what you think of that. And then finally, folks, don't forget about that amazing event on May 21st. There are only 78 seats left. We could answer portfolio reviews. We could do deal reviews. We could talk about getting started, when to leave your market, when to change your buy box, all of those things. You are going to get over $5,000 combined consulting hours, right? Mike, Matt, Dion, myself, for 47 bucks. Only 100 people. Frankly, at this point, only 78. And if you buy the course, you will also get the video so you can rewatch it. This should sell out today, but that's not how this works. It will probably take a couple of days. Please get your ticket today. 100 seats is all I could do. If I go over 100, it will be a meeting. It will be a webinar, not a meeting, which is not what I want. I want you to say, hey guys, I'm 5 years into this journey. Here's my portfolio. What should I do? Hey, I'm investing in this market. It's a -2. Should I go out of state? Hey, I'm doing this. I'm doing that. What do you guys think? I know this is going to be valuable. So I will do my best to put the link below. You can find it in the past daily financial news. You must be at this. 78 seats left. And then finally, let's congratulate somebody for getting their golden ticket. Yes, folks, Andy. Andy, congratulations for getting your golden ticket. Your card will go out in the mail. What is a golden ticket? It is somebody who got their first deal. And of course, we have these tickets. You can only get one of these, but you can get as many of these as you want. Get another deal, I'll send you one of these. Andy, do me a favor. When you get this, take a selfie, send it over. I'd love to put it on my board. All right, everybody, take care. I was wrong, and I'm happy about it. CPI headline 4.9. The next 4 months, going to be pretty good, I think. Large base effects roll off, housing roll off in the summer. Again, like, subscribe, comment, be a part of the channel, interact with the channel, more comments, more views, more subs, more goodness. Take care. Bye-bye.